Of course you want to read my diary, peasant. 30 July. So, Father arranged an appointment for me to meet with another agency today, but regretfully, I was unable to attend. I must have eaten something that did not agree with me last night, for I felt faint this morning, and I thought I detected the beginning of the shadow of a blemish. I immediately had the servants prepare an emergency spa treatment, and I feared to move lest my complexion be upset by the change in the humidity that would occur if I left the penthouse. The whole incident was very traumatic, and was made more so by learning that some monster with far less beauty and talent was chosen by the agency for its new campaign. Father called and was royally cross with me, even after I explained the dreadful details of my situation. He has threatened to come here himself and personally escort me to the next appointment if I do not, in his words, stop draining the royal coffers with nothing to show for it in return. I may never recover from such a blow to my delicate psyche. The only remedy for this situation, of course, is to throw a party. 12 August. All is in readiness for tomorrow night's festivities. Every agent and top model has received their invitation and RSVP'd. The city's beast interior designer is putting the finishing touches on the decorations. The caterer and DJ are coming in the morning to set up, and I have bought out the next floor down to prevent any potential problems with the neighbors. I, myself, shall be the most opulent and regal host since ever. I am incomparable to any who have come before, and so I will remain. I totally rock, and 13 August. It should have been the night I made a return on my father's investments. Everything was supposed to be about me. Me! It all started out like it should have. The decorations, the food, and the music wove their spell over everything, and I was at the center of it all. I was shining like the sun, and every monster there wanted to be in my orbit. Except for a motley group of monster models who were sitting on my couch, huddled around some kind of book. I do not know why I invited them to the party, and I hadn't remembered them coming in, but there they were now. I had met them when I first moved to the city. I supposed I had noticed them at the time because they acted just like the group of losers my sister creeps around with at Monster High. They had all come to Milan on a wing and a scare, and despite my offer for them to live with me in the penthouse, they insisted on sharing a place together that they could all afford. So next, I decided to offer them the benefits of my wisdom and leadership. Only, they didn't want it. No, they wanted me to just come and hang out with them. Asp if. Now they were sitting on my couch, looking through my fear book, and they were laughing. At me. It must have been at me. Who else could it have been? And then the whole room began to spin, and it felt like everyone was pointing and laughing at me. I guess I must have fainted, because when I woke up it was totally quiet, and I could hear the sound of cleaning. I stumbled out of my bedroom, and there were those same models helping the servants clean up after the party. Every other monster was gone. It was all ruined, all of it, because of them. I wanted to scream, but that would have been so common. Instead, I quietly asked them to leave and told them that the servants would finish the job. They didn't argue, they just left. But before the door closed, the last one out, a werewolf with 2 blonde hair and split ends, stopped and said, "I was captain of my fear squad too. We all thought it was funny that we had that in common." Common? I have never been common. 25 August. I'm still in Milan, but everything is packed, and I am ready to leave. I should have left yesterday, but the servants that Father sent to pack my penthouse. Were lazier than the ones he sent to unpack me when I moved into the place. It's only 10 rooms for Ra's sake. And I was only here for a year. They actually tried to use the excuse that the elevator was out and carrying everything down 15 flights of stairs was slowing the process. One of them even had the audacity to lift his eyes from the floor while speaking to me. Such insolence! I would have punished him, but Father has forbidden me from disciplining the servants. One day, though, I shall be queen, and I do not forget. 16 August. Before I left tonight, I had my driver bring me around to the horrid little mausoleum where that motley pack of models crammed themselves together like zombies until they could be discovered. I had something special I wanted to leave for them as a parting gift, and though normally I would have considered this servant's work, I wanted to make sure, in this case, it was properly done. As I walked up the steps, I could hear them gossiping in the pettiest way about some failed model they all knew. I thought their comments were quite revealing, especially since the likelihood that any of them would ever haunt a runway was laughable. I rapped on the door and waited. I heard some ghoul inside laugh and say, "Yes, but what she lacked in generosity, she made up for in meanness." "And don't forget the insecurity," added another in zombie. They were still laughing when some Spanish gargoyle, whose name I had forgotten, but whose wretched complexion was completely familiar, finally opened the door. The mausoleum went silent as a tomb, and they all sat gaping with open-mouthed stares. It never gets old seeing the effect I have on less than common monsters. Finally, the gargoyle regained her senses long enough to acknowledge me. "Hello, Nefera. We thought you left yesterday." "Royalty is not bound by the restraints of schedule," I replied. "I am leaving tonight, but before I go, I wanted to hand-deliver these invitations. They are to the restaurant you all have always said would be the first place you'd like to dine after you got your big break. It is most exclusive, you know, and there is a table with your names on it reserved for you this very night. I have left a car at your service downstairs, and the first course shall be placed on the table in 2 hours. This should give you all ample time to make yourselves presentable." They attempted to thank me, but their gratitude is as far below my acknowledgement as beauty is above their plainness. "All is arranged," I said as I walked to my waiting car. Later on, as Father's plane lifted off and the lights of Milan disappeared beneath clouds, I thought about the dessert and laughter they must now be enjoying, and I wondered how in the world that pathetic bunch of losers would ever be able to afford the bill that was now headed to their table. 31 August. After several stops and some shopping along the way, we're finally flying home. There was no moon and the sky was clear. Father's pilot announced that there was going to be a meteor shower tonight. Azura climbed out of her hiding place to perch on my hand and look out the window, just in time to see the stars begin to fall. I was rather bored by the whole spectacle, until I noticed a small group that seemed to be falling together and at the same speed. That is, until a much larger and faster meteor came out of nowhere and smashed through the small group, sending them spiraling off into darkness. Ah yes, I'm on my way home, little sister. And you and your happy little life cannot even see me coming.